Sandy, last week we chatted about your evolution from player to coach, all that you've accomplished in that time. Since then, it has now been official. You are announced as the newest head coach of the Toronto Tempo, the first ever head coach of the Toronto Tempo. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. No, so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Are you obviously so excited, a little bit I'm glad this is now over and now I can just move on to my next chapter?
Well, yeah, you know that. Yeah. No, it was, like I said, it was overwhelming. Once I was let go by New York, I had some interest from other teams, and going through that process was fun. A little overwhelming, a little stressful, just making that decisions because, they're all great situations. But in the end, I just felt, my heart was leading me to Toronto and to build something from scratch, in a whole new city and in a whole new country. So it's not just Toronto's team, it's Canada's team. But I really enjoy the GM, Monica Rogers, former WNBA player. And, I know we can have a really great partnership, and the ownership is fantastic. So excited.
Amazing. I know. So you were unexpectedly-ish this free agent, all of a sudden, getting a lot of interest. Normally we ask players this question, right? how are you approaching your free agency? What are you looking for? And you kind of touched on some of it, but how did you approach yours? Was it a priority list? Were there certain boxes that, whichever franchise you picked had to check? What was most important?
Yeah. Great question there. I mean, and it was good for me to get this perspective because I've always had jobs in the WNBA, but never 3. So I was wow, okay, yeah, I could see myself there. Oh, I could see myself there. And they're all different. Yeah. And that's what made it really hard. And but I think the big thing for me is you're just learning from the part. Where do you feel like I'll have the most support and to build something special? And I think that's when it back to is partnership. I felt I could have had a great partnership in all 3, to be quite honest, and just that partnership. What's their vision, obviously for the team, the roles and the alignment that we have. I think that was really a big thing. But just people and then city, and then what's the opportunity? What's the challenge that's ahead of me? So I think that all went into it, and it was hard, but I feel really happy with the decision I made.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned a little bit, it's this is kind of uncharted waters, given that it's an expansion team, given that it's in Canada, but also, unique to, or different, I should say, from your last 2 jobs and kind of what you inherited. In Phoenix, you inherited a championship level team. New York, a year later, you had a championship team, but still, you guys were building. Yeah. No. I say that with no shade. You're still building towards that. This is you don't know what this is going to be. And we know all the reasons as to why that will be, which let me just name the elephant in the room very quickly. There's, almost every vet in the league is a free agent. You guys aren't going to know, there's no CBA. So you guys aren't going to know what pick you have in the draft. Yeah. You don't know how the expansion draft's going to work itself. So I know it can be difficult to give answers for this next section, but just if you zoom out, right, and you look at this challenge that's ahead of you, which I think is what drew you there, it sounds like what excited you about creating, building? Yeah,
look, I think you mentioned it with the CBA going on, there's a lot of free agents. So I think if you're going to build a team, probably now's the right time.
Yeah, this is the year to do it. I actually feel bad for Cleveland and Philadelphia. This is the time to be an expansion team.
Yeah, and that went into it. And how fun, you can start from the ground up. What kind of players do we want? Obviously it goes beyond just trying to win a championship. It's trying to have sustainable success and build a culture there that the Canadian public and Toronto can be proud of, getting in the community. And then obviously developing women's basketball, I think it's really taken off, but let's get it to the other level. Our game is global, and I am international. So I felt a comfort level. We're under the Commonwealth, and, going Canadians, Australians, very similar. But look, I think just having the opportunity to have a big say and, building something from the scratch in a really interesting year, obviously, with the free agents.
Yeah. Is there a certain mix you think would be good, whether it's a certain mix of, do you want to be more of a vet team? Do you want to be, more youthful? Do you want to have a mix? Do you want to have international players? Are you trying to get some Canadians? How are
Great
you?
questions.
Honestly, it's like, I'd be trying to get some Canadians, get some of that home cooking.
Yeah. Look, I think a bit of everything. I think, everyone's trying to win a championship, and this is an expansion team and a little different. And I don't know what, these free agents, what's important for them. But, the money is, we know it's going to be bigger and better. And Toronto is a really great city, and, especially in summer. So, I think a great organisation and to do something new. So hopefully that can inspire some of the players out there. But I think for me, a mixture, because I think you want to get some, can we get some really, really build around 2-3 really good players, and then, get those complementary pieces around it. Possibly international, you never know. I don't know. Like, we haven't got that deep into it, but I think we are an international team, but it's just getting the right pieces together, and it doesn't matter where they're from. So I've been very international in New York these last few years too. I think I love it. In the end, it's just putting the right pieces together to build the best team that we possibly can. And, with good people too. I think that's obviously important there. And so I'm excited. We don't know what that looks like when we can start. So it might be down the path there, but hopefully I'll build enough. I've been around the league for quite some time that players know me and know what I'm about, and hopefully I can entice a few of those players, to join us in Toronto.
I thought what the Valkyries did from like an international player standpoint was really smart. And they were obviously not in the position that you guys or Portland will be in terms of all the free agents available. But I thought it was just really strategic to get like players with experience, not necessarily WNBA experience, but experience. So you weren't starting from like the typical, quote unquote, typical place that an expansion team starts from. So I think there's definitely things to learn from them. Are you looking at like any of their success, whether it's honestly on the court, how they made the playoffs in year one, off the court, and what they've built in the community? Like, are there things that you guys like catch yourself being like, oh, we saw Golden State do this, or oh, we saw Golden State do that?
Well, they, Golden State did so well, and I think how they selected those players in the expansion draft was smart, and it really fit the style that Natalie had for them, and they were tough. And then, Valhalla, it was rocking. It was rocking.
Valhalla?
Valhalla. I don't know. Is that how you say it?
Of course. No, it's how Australians say it. Valhalla.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
New Yorkers say it Valhalla.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. It's all good. We're two different countries there. But, I think we have to create our own identity, and it's a different year. They did so well. But that's the challenge, is can we have as much success as we can with Golden State? They did it through the expansion draft. It's a little different now because the expansion draft will have a little less people, but the free agency will be way bigger. Right. So look, I think, and it's exciting, start to build some team, and it's just not me. I've, obviously Monica and Eli and, the front office and haven't really got too deep in those discussions yet. We're starting them tomorrow. But excited to start building something and collaborating on what it looks like and, starting a new challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned this before, but it is something I want to ask about, just like growing the game in a whole country.
Yeah.
Like it is bigger than just being, another team in the United States. And you've seen it, I think you've seen it with the NBA, with the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Like when they make the playoffs, the entire country is behind them. It's almost like a national team in a sense. So how are you approaching that challenge, right? Like, it's not just building your fan base in the city. It's building a fan base in the country, but also growing the game in the country. Yeah, no,
I think that's exciting, and you have to want to do that. You have to invest in the community and get out there and continue to sell the game. But what I've noticed in my short time in Toronto is they love their sports. They really do. I mean, they just get behind it. Obviously when the Raptors won, that was an epic moment for their city, but also for the country. And now the Blue Jays are, doing so well. I know.
They knocked the Mariners out. I was pissed. The guy,
yes. Sorry.
George Springer, he hit the home run. He went to UConn. I was like,
hey,
fuck
boy,
George.
Yeah. But, and then that's a part of it. And I think, like, I'm, coming from Australia too, I always feel like our game needs to be, these players need to be household names. And so that's the challenge. I'm excited about that. I think Canada has some really great talent, got some great young talent coming up. But we get to play for the whole of Canada. But it's an exciting challenge. Like you've said, I've won 2 championships and, I've had some really great players. But so I still want to get great players because that's how you build your foundation. But you want to build the foundation in the right way and step by step, not just going out, get the best, but let's build it really solid from here because for sustainable success. I mean, I want to be there for a few years there and building something special and a country. And, I think it's a really cool city.
Given your career, again, all that you've accomplished, what is still driving you? And what are you most excited for to prove or discover in this next chapter in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's, look, I just still feel I have so much passion for this game. I love being a head coach and trying to get the best out of teams, building the cohesiveness and the connections and the relationships and the system, but being in a collaboration. I feel like I still have so much to give, and that's what it's about. And now the challenge is trying to win that, another championship with another franchise. I think that's obviously that's ultimately the motivation, and I know that will be hard, but that's always you got to have that. That's the goal out there, but it's just making sure you build it in the right way. And, as long as I still have passion, I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I still coach the Australian national team as well too. And this is my 3rd cycle. And it's a very stressful coaching the Australian team when we get 1 week to practice and are expected to win medals. But I still love it. And because of the people, I love the challenge of, trying to mold a team and being adaptable and, I still I still want to continue to grow as a coach. So that's what motivates me.
Is it just because you want to win 3 championships in 3 different franchises and break that you want to break that Brian Agler tie? Is that what I heard?
No. Just it's a competitive thing in me. Of course we want to win. I'll chase that. So let's see if it happens.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Sandy, thank you again for your time. This is amazing, and best of luck in Toronto.
Thank you, Sue.
Man, I totally get. Sandy's about to go embark on this journey where she gets to build something, she gets to do it and be the first one doing it, and she gets to do it for a whole country. So that's pretty special. Cannot wait to see what she does there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And another quick reminder, we're taking a little break for the season starting now. But don't worry, you can still stay tapped in with us every week. See you guys soon.